Hi, I'm Lisa Dahl, health and wellness coach, and welcome to Getting Healthy Without Rules. This show is about understanding the things that impact your wellness and finding ways to improve it. We support a non-diet, no-rule approach to health and wellness. Health and wellness is a moving target, and this allows you to make the best choice with the information that you have right now. It allows you to be present, flexible, and resilient. In addition, I support you to shift from judgment to curiosity and offering yourself self-compassion. It's time we all learn to be a little bit kinder to ourselves. Today's show is all about intuitive eating. I'm going to share with you what it is, the benefits, how we lost the practice, and how to find it again. Be sure to stay to the end for your tool on how you can regain your practice to intuitive eating. I have to share that today's topic of intuitive eating is one of my favorite things that I talk about. As a former dieter, I know that it works, and I know that it will make a difference in anybody's life, no matter what their relationship is with food and body. It has changed my life personally and professionally. So, what is intuitive eating? As you listen to what intuitive eating is, I want you to do your best to keep an open mind and think about what is possible. So intuitive eating is a science-supported practice that is based on letting go of the food rules and the diets. You learn to connect your mind, your body with your food, and it's based on 10 guiding principles. It allows you to eat without judgment, guilt, or shame. You no longer wonder what happened to your willpower. So if you are a dieter, how amazing does that sound? Intuitive eating is about letting you connect allowing your body to guide you in what to eat, when to eat, and how much to eat. You create a relationship between your mind and your body that supports your physical body as well as your emotional needs. Intuitive eating is not new. We were all born intuitive eaters. And intuitive eating is about relearning that connection between your mind and your body. It is a self-care eating framework that brings together instinct, emotion, and rational thought. It supports curiosity rather than judgment. So it brings together 3 different parts of your brain: the reptilian brain, which is based on instinct, your limbic brain, which is based on social and emotional behaviors, and your rational brain that connects your thoughts and language. Studies show that 95% of us, myself included, that when we lose weight because of a diet, we will regain our weight in somewhere between 2 and 5 years. In addition, many of us will regain additional weight. So if you are presently on a diet and you have seen statistics that say that it works, I would encourage you to get curious and look and see who is funding the study, how many people were in the study, how long the study lasted, and the rates of success, and is it based on weeks, months, or years. It's really important information, and it may shift your understanding on diet success or lack of diet success, that it is not your fault. And for that reason, in 1995, because of all of the diet failure, there were 2 dietitians, Evelyn Tribole and Elise Resch, and they created the mind-body health approach to health and wellness, which is now known as the practice of intuitive eating. The emphasis is about being in touch with your innate body cues, your hunger, your fullness, and your satiety. And I'm going to share with you what the 10 principles are, and it's going to take all my self-control not to dig into each one right now, but I will explore those in future episodes. So the first principle is reject the diet mentality. The second is honor your hunger. Permission to eat food. Challenging the food police. And the hub of intuitive eating is about creating satisfaction. The sixth principle is feel your fullness. The next is honor your emotions with kindness. Respect your body. Movement, feel the difference. And lastly, honor your health with gentle nutrition. It is about connecting your mind, your body, with your food. What are the benefits of intuitive eating? And there are so many of them. To begin with, it allows you to connect your mind and your body, giving you greater balance and moderation. You let go of that false belief that you can't trust yourself when you are off your diet. You learn to listen, trust, and respect your body. And with that, you respect your hunger and your fullness cues, which will help you to eliminate the binging and the out-of-control eating. You will also have less stress about what and how much you are eating, something as dieters we spend a lot of time worrying about. You will have a greater variety of foods because when we are on a diet, we are typically following this rule book of what we can eat, how much we can eat. Intuitive eating works with all food choices wherever you are, any time of day. One of the best benefits about intuitive eating is because it is not a diet, you can't break it. There is no failure. How many times have you had best intentions, and whether you broke your diet intentionally or unintentionally, you end up saying you kind of throw in the towel and you eat everything that's around you throughout the day. And you consider it kind of, quote unquote, your last supper, because tomorrow morning you're going to start again. With the practice of intuitive eating, because it is a practice and everything is based on an experience and learning, every eating opportunity is a new opportunity. You don't need a do-over. You just get to begin to understand the importance of bringing in curiosity, letting that judgment go, and offering yourself self-compassion. You will have a greater appreciation with the foods that you're eating. You learn to become more discerning. Because you are present more often, you learn to appreciate the beauty of what you're eating, the taste, the texture, the smell. You understand what brings you pleasure and start to decide what really doesn't fuel you or fill that emotional need in your body. The scale no longer determines whether it is a good day or a bad day because you're no longer needing to get on it to justify how you are. We have all had those mornings where we wake up, we think it's going to be a good day, we walk into the bathroom, we get onto that scale, and all of a sudden our hopes and dreams are crushed, and now we're in a bad mood and we feel fat, where 30 seconds ago we felt fine. It's important to understand that fat is not an emotion, and it is a thought that can be shifted. You will gain ease around food, which means you're going to spend less time, money, and energy on your diets, on your meal plans, on your cleanses and detoxes. You're going to continue to learn how to understand what's best for your here and now body. Ultimately, you're going to have more enjoyment and satisfaction from your eating experience. You're going to have improved body image and acceptance, overall increased well-being, and healthier eating behaviors. How did we stop being intuitive eaters? Because we were all born intuitive, being able to eat intuitively. Anyone who has ever cared for or fed a baby will notice that they will suck on their fingers or they will smack their lips and they will cry. They will let their caregivers know that they are hungry. When they are full, they will shut their lips, they will turn away, they'll give you signals that they're done. As caregivers and parents, we think that we know best. And we want to, what I refer to as top them off, something that I was super guilty about. My kids didn't sleep through the night for years. And I always said, well, if I just gave them a little bit more, they would sleep better. The reality was that they didn't sleep better, but it was the first messaging for them not to trust their bodies. Babies naturally understand their hunger and their fullness cues. As we grow older, we are told to clean our plates, eat this, don't eat that. You're not allowed to eat X, Y, Z. You need to finish dinner before we get dessert. We eat according to the day or time of day. We're eating based on extrinsic factors versus being connected to our bodies. We have created disconnection. We may have role modeled our parents who have an unhealthy relationship with their food and body. We may have heard them say that they don't like the way they look or watch them diet. And if we have the same body shape and size as our parents, we then start to question, well, if they don't like their body, how could I possibly like my body? Creating further disconnection. We may have also heard somebody say something about our body or have a disparaging remark or heard the words, maybe she should be watching. And that again starts to create the disconnection on what is best for ourselves. We forgot to educate ourselves and our children on understanding the different sensations in our bodies. We need to learn what hunger feels like and fullness and satisfaction because it feels different. We are all unique. It feels different in everybody's body. As adults, there's many things that keep us disconnected from our hunger cues. Our busy lifestyles have us often eating according to our family schedules, our work schedules, and not necessarily when we are hungry. Our busyness has deprioritized nourishing our bodies. When we get lost in the busyness of our day, we don't check in with ourselves and we don't notice our hunger cues. Then at the end of the day, we wonder why we are starving. We eat everything in sight and we blow past our fullness cues. Our bodies don't like to be starved. Emotional eating also confuses our hunger cues. When we are lonely, sad, stressed, we have been taught with time to soothe our emotions with food. How many times have you said, or somebody you were with have said, it's been such a bad day, I need to have mac and cheese, it's my comfort food. They're hoping that that is going to bring them comfort. Or have you ever witnessed a caregiver or a parent trying to soothe a child who is crying and distract them with a lollipop? What happens is that we end up confusing our hunger cues with our needs. And this is a deeper conversation and goes back to the principle about coping with our emotions with kindness. We need to understand the difference between our hunger and our need to soothe, learning how to create other tools in our toolbox in addition to food. Dieting is a disruptor to our hunger and our fullness cues. When we diet, we focus on the rules on what we should or what we shouldn't do. We focus on what the diet tells us what to eat, when to eat, and how much to eat. We never check in on whether we are hungry or full or satisfied. We block our natural instincts, and we have learned to eat by the numbers, calorie math. And finally, cultural messaging and society's moral judgment also disrupts the comfort in our body. Society, big pharma, and the weight loss industry tells us what our bodies should look like. And I really believe that we are just starting to have that conversation to be able to question if that is true and what our bodies should look like. Society's moral judgment about food, body, and weight make us think we shouldn't eat, again affecting our relationship with hunger. We are taught that thinner is better, and this causes us to shut down our hunger cues and to restrict ourselves so that we fit in. We will look at social media at people's before and after images, and we believe that we are not enough. As dieters, we take great pride in being able to ignore our hunger, and then we believe that we are not hungry. These are all getting in the way of our connection. In fact, and here's some scary statistics, according to a Huffington Post article, over 45% of people are focused on their bodies and their weight, either some or all of the time. And the statistic that upsets me the most and saddens me is that half of 3 to 6-year-old little girls have a fear of being fat. All these thoughts keep us disconnected from our natural bodies. All of these thoughts keep us disconnected from our natural body's weight, our emotions, our hunger, our fullness, and the importance of satisfaction. So how do we get our intuitive eating back? And it is possible for all of us, because we are going to be relearning something that was natural. And it begins with being able to be open, to be curious, to welcome change. And it begins also with slowly incorporating the 10 principles of intuitive eating. And I know from my own personal experience, as well as working with my clients, it works and it makes a difference. The 10 principles will help you pick small actions and behaviors that foster a healthy relationship between your mind, your body, your heart, and your food. You will learn to recognize and resist the messaging of diet culture, all the rules, all the false rules and beliefs that have you telling you of what you should or shouldn't do. You will learn to recognize and better honor your hunger and your fullness cues. You will learn to speak the language of your body and be the expert on yourself. You will learn the difference between emotional and physical hunger and the tools to support to manage your emotions in addition to food. You will learn to find movement that you enjoy versus focusing on shrinking your body. You will learn to give yourself permission, and permission changes everything, to eat food and to end that Last Supper eating before you begin another diet. You will learn that food has no moral value, and it'll help you to quiet the diet voices in your head. You will learn that there are different metrics, better metrics, on how to measure your health instead of the scale. And you will feel better about being in your body and about your body, because intuitive eating creates greater body acceptance. Intuitive eating is becoming more popular, and with it there is a lot of misinformation about what intuitive eating is or isn't. So I'm going to share with you some things that will hopefully educate you and be aware of the red flags, to hear the voices, because diet culture has co-opted the words intuitive eating. So if you are following a food plan that tells you that you need to eliminate a food group, that you need to label food as good or bad, or you're labeling foods as green foods and red light foods, the plan tells you what to eat. The plan tells you to weigh and measure your food and your body. That is not intuitive eating. In fact, any food plan or diet that tells you to weigh your body, that is 100% not intuitive eating. And that is one of those things that will keep you disconnected from being able to truly practice intuitive eating. As long as you are focused on a number on the scale, you will have a disconnect between your mind and your body. It is important to understand that intuitive eating is a full body approach. As always, I like to remind you that there is no quick fix. Rather, there is a better way to wellness than following the rules. Rather, the simple path to wellness is about learning how to be present and meeting yourself where you are right now. So the first step is to get curious. Take time to understand yourself and what impacts your wellness. Thinking about what we talked about today, how to connect your mind, your body, your heart, and your food. Learning to trust that you can be the expert on yourself by letting the rules go. Your second step is to create a wellness vision plan for your best self. Imagine your future self being at peace with food and your body. And the third step is to incorporate simple actions and behaviors into your routine to make them lifelong sustainable habits, and to be able to be present and flexible to shift when you know that you need to make a change to better support your long-term goals. The principles of intuitive eating will help you choose your next actions and behaviors. And while you're doing this, check in with yourself. Ask yourself, what are you feeling and what do you need right now? Your practice this week is to learn how to check in with your hunger and your fullness cues. So you can go to my website and download the Hunger and Fullness Scale. And this is going to help you to recognize your hunger and fullness cues. It will help you to recognize the difference between emotional eating and physical hunger. It's helpful when you use this guide to check in periodically during the day, as well as before, during, and after your meals. It's going to be interesting if you approach it with curiosity versus judgment, what you can learn about yourself. If you are looking for like-minded people, community, connection, education, and support, I invite you to join my free office hours and my monthly conversations. I really would love to hear from you personally. Send me an email with your questions, share what you are discovering about you, and I hope that you will tune in for my next episode of Getting Healthy Without Rules.